FOMO, the fear of missing out. All right, confession cam. I have a deep-seated fear of missing out on the next big thing. And right now, I fear I'm missing out on the next big thing, which I think is NFTs.
For years, NFTs have exploded in popularity.
NFT over the next 12
is headed, and some cool
We're going to be talking about a release of an NFT collection that is coming.
And my friend Brian Fanzo is all into NFTs. My friends Jay Bear and Ann Hanley and Joe Polizzi all have their own creator coins, which my friend JK is minting his own art NFTs. And me, well, I'm wondering if I'm missing the boat completely, and I feel this pressure to get on board. Maybe you feel the same way. Well, I've been here before, and today I'm going to share a special framework for using logic, a very simple tool, and some perspective to help me stay focused and attempt to cure my FOMO. Here's the big idea. The only way to cure your fear of missing out on the next big thing is to, well, it's to be rational. We need to use a logical approach to understanding how new media platforms and new technology are adopted. And most importantly, we need some perspective to help us figure out when we're actually missing out, or better yet, when we should be getting involved in a new or a next big thing. So let me introduce you to the new media life cycle. Since 2008, I've been using the new media life cycle to help me get rid of my FOMO. Now, the new media life cycle is just a framework for understanding exactly how any new media platform or technology evolves. Here's the evolution as it looks in volume of interest over time, all right? Every platform essentially uses this, looks the same, except the time might be a little different, and there's spiky things in each one of these elements. But here's the deal. There are 7 distinct phases that every platform goes through as it evolves, all right? So let me break them down for you. The very first one is called experimentation, all right? Experimentation. That's usually, 2 people in a basement with a new idea that they've shared with some family and friends. And a lot of times people don't know what it's all about. They'll send it to family and friends and they'll be like, why would you ever want to use this? Then it moves into adoption, all right? Phase 2 is adoption. And in adoption, a wider group of friends, usually people that, friends of friends, start using the platform and trying it out. And they also are wondering, what exactly are you going to use this platform for? But they enjoy it for some reason. They see some potential. Now, the next phase is very, very important. This phase is called gestation. And in gestation, people are trying to figure out exactly what kind of content or value this platform can add to our everyday lives. How is it making our lives better? So they're experimenting with all kinds of new content, and the platform grows a little bit more. Gestation is a really important phase. And remember, these could be long or short depending on the platform, but generally they've got to go through every single one of the phases. The next phase, which is this giant, exciting looking curve, is called escalation. Escalation is when all of a sudden a giant number of people start to adopt the platform, and it's usually because of a very important thing that happens right here, which we're going to get to. That right there's a moment in time that actually helps the evolution of every platform. And escalation gets to the top here and reaches this next phase, 5, which is the plateau. Now in the plateau, you basically have found a way to understand how to provide value with the platform. We monetize it. Marketers figure out what the ROI on the platform is. They start to see the business utility, and that's when it kind of levels out. And then this phase here, number 6, is called consolidation. Consolidation is when all the copycats and the ones that didn't work out kind of fall off the radar screen, or they're acquired by other bigger players. And then we end up in the last phase, And the seventh phase is called maintain. And maintain is when we certainly seem to agree that this platform is going to be around for a while. Attrition equals adoption, and people know how to use it. It's clear that the utility is there long term. So what happens right here that causes escalation? And this is what we're all waiting for with some of the newest technology and the next big thing. This is called the celebrity hit. Yes, the celebrity hit is when somebody, usually in a very specific market sometimes, helps everybody understand how this platform can actually add value to our lives. What is its utility? And at that moment, that's when escalation begins. It's very, very rapid and everybody jumps on board. The ironic thing is, in escalation, usually the quality of the content drops and marketers take over trying to capitalize on the giant explosive growth. Marketers can ruin everything. But the new media life cycle and all 7 of these phases can help us understand where any next big thing is, and they can help us cure our FOMO. How does it do that? Let me show you. Now, the key to using the new media life cycle is figuring out where in the life cycle any new media platform or concept is. So let me show you how to do this. And to do this, we're going to look at Twitter's evolution. And the tool we're going to use to analyze the evolution of any platform is Google Trends. Google Trends is the simplest way to explore how popular anything is. It's just essentially search volume over time, from 0 people searching to 100, the most people that have ever searched. So let's take a look at Twitter's evolution, all right? You can see that the phases are pretty apparent here, all right? This is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3 here, and this is escalation all the way up to here, all right? So this is phase 4, this is the plateau right here, all right? That's phase 5, and then you can see the consolidation phase here, that's 6, and 7, maintain, all right? So you can see over time how this has evolved. Now, the time from here to here to here is really important, but we're gonna focus on gestation and the celebrity hit, okay? The celebrity hit. Now, the celebrity hit is the moment in time where the utility of the platform becomes apparent. Now, if we go back to way back when to Twitter started, at the very beginning, no one knew how to use it. It was asking a simple question, like, what are you doing? And then you would put in, like, I'm eating cake, and no one really cared. And as it moved into gestation, people started to try to figure out how it worked. Now, this right here, this is the most important point, because this is around 2008. It's actually fall of 2008, all right? So it's September and November of 2008. And that's when 2 amazing things happened that proved the utility of the platform. In September of 2008, there was the Atlanta gas crisis. People couldn't find gas in Atlanta for a big complicated reason, and they actually turned to Twitter, where people were posting that you could get gas at the corner of 15th and 21st Street right now. It was real-time updates. And then in November of 2008, LA had a huge fire, and all of a sudden when the power lines went down and the phone system went out, people were posting things on Twitter how to stay safe during the fire, and that's when the LA Times put Twitter on their homepage to keep everybody updated about the LA fires. And this proved the utility of Twitter as a breaking news tool, and that's what sparked escalation. That's what sparked that first giant jump. That's the celebrity hit. All right, so what we're trying to do is actually learn from the past to understand the future, to cure our FOMO. Now, I feel like I'm missing out on NFTs, right? Maybe you do too. So let's take a look at the NFT Google Trends chart, all right? Now, here we go. Now, see this first big spike right here? That is March 11th, 2021, when Beeple sold his artwork for $69 million. And yeah, these other little spikes, well, some of them can be attributed to things like Bored Ape NFT sales, things like that. And so where do we think NFTs are in the life cycle if you're just looking at this chart? Well, now, to me, it looks like this might be adoption right here, and gestation right here maybe. And so this looks like maybe this whole giant spike is escalation, that everybody's getting on board. Is it? Who knows? Well, it's not. And the only way to tell exactly where it might be in the new media life cycle is to look at NFTs relative to a platform we already understand, like Twitter. So let's do that. And there we go. Now we're looking at Twitter, the blue line right here, and we're looking at NFTs, the red line right here. That little blip on the radar screen is actually the search volume for NFTs. So where are we? It's actually more like right here, January of 2009, and we're in adoption, and we're just trying to figure out what NFTs are really good for. What value do they add to people's lives? Look, if you live in the art world, then it looks like NFTs might be proving to add value to your life, but we're just in adoption right now, the very beginning of the phase. So what should the vast majority of us do? I'll tell you. But I don't want you to miss next week's episode of The Loyalty Loop, so you might want to subscribe to my Thursday emails right now and use the secret code BEOPLE to get a super secret surprise. Okay, so what does all of this mean to you and I, to the vast majority of people, to business people and to marketers? Here's what it means. You're not missing out on anything. You're not. On average, for platforms like Twitter and Instagram or Facebook, it takes 3 years to get to that plateau, to get from the beginning of escalation to the point where we truly understand what a new media platform is good for, before we truly understand its value to our lives, before we clearly understand how to monetize and measure the value of a platform. So here's my advice to you. If you feel like you're missing out on the next big thing, well, that's completely natural. But you shouldn't be spending more than 5% of your budget, your time, your energy, all your resources on all the new media platforms that aren't yet in escalation. Honestly, until there's a celebrity hit that's relevant to you and your business, you might not even want to bother. So, my friends, I hope the new media life cycle helps you stay level-headed about the next big thing. But in the meantime, I'll see you next week in my loyalty loop. Let's cure some FOMO. I feel better about NFTs, but what about Clubhouse? Where's Clubhouse? There's always something new and there's always something next.